Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to transfer the printed color wheel template that I've provided onto a piece of Bristol paper, which is what you'll be using for the color wheel project. So I've already gone ahead and I've printed this, and then I've taken a graphite pencil, and what you do is you just go around the entire object and you want to press really hard. And then I've done the lines on the inside except for one because I wanted to show you. You do want to use a ruler. You don't want to just hand draw it. You want to press really, really, really hard, because what you're going to be doing, and I've done all of these lines now. Then you can go back in, and if you see any kind of areas where the lines have like doubled up a little bit, or you're not happy with certain parts, don't be afraid to use the ruler, the eraser, as like a tool for editing. It doesn't mean you've made mistakes if you're erasing something. So now what I'm going to do, I have my Bristol, my nice thick Bristol or cardstock paper, not printer paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over facing this way. I'm going to center it nicely. Okay, so it's not crooked. Although with this type of a transfer, it doesn't matter if it's straight or not, because it's just a circle that we're going to be using. So you can use that same pencil or a different one, but then what you want to do is go through this entire space here, and I'm pressing really, really, really hard. Okay, you go over the entire thing, and then what you'll end up with is transferred template for the color wheel. Okay, this is applicable, some artists will do this where they'll create a very detailed drawing, and they just want to put it on a different material, so let's say they draw something in their sketchbook and they like it a lot and they don't want to have to try to draw it again on a canvas, and they want to use the same size, for example. This works for that. However, if you're transferring onto an actual canvas material, you do want to keep in mind that canvas can't really take this much pressure. I wouldn't want you to like accidentally poke a hole in it, for example. So this works really well with paper on paper, and then I do have a hard surface underneath, the hard table is underneath. So it's effective and it works. You could transfer onto watercolor paper, but you just want to really press hard. Okay. And then let's just see what kind of magic happens when I'm done. I don't recommend necessarily showing this to your students if you're going to be an art teacher, unless you're doing this project, because they will try to do this for other assignments, and you really want them to not trace and not transfer. If you're teaching a drawing class especially, you want them to learn how to draw. So and keep in mind, it's not going to be perfect. You can edit, after you flip it over. You could edit it right now. See how messy mine is? I'm just doing like kind of geometric scribbling back and forth. I'm not trying to really stay with the curve, because I know I can just go back in and edit it if I want to. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I might clean it up a little bit just so that I don't have so much more to do after I transfer it. Like the really crazy areas. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it back over, and notice how clean this is, right? Yay. And then I have this rough transfer. So then what I want to go back in and kind of go, okay, let's clean this up a little bit. Let's clean this area. Some of them aren't really totally lined up. And then let me go back in and edit over here. Okay, so now I feel like I'm relatively ready to, like once I kind of clean this up a little bit more with my ruler and make sure everything's kind of lined up nicely. I'm going from point A to point B down here. Just kind of clean it up a little bit, make sure it's nice and even. And then I feel like I'm going to be ready for paint. Some of these lines, my paper must have moved a little bit. So as long as I have like the same spot in the center that is like my center point, and it's not turning into this crazy looking like spider web that it is right now, then you're good to go, as long as you have like a little focal point right there. So I'm going to finish cleaning this up, and that's just basically how you transfer an image or a drawing onto a piece of Bristol paper using graphite pencil. Thank you.